Giggs. Giggs. No. Rhodri.
Is there anything that Lionel Messi is better than you at? It's opinions. I respect your opinions. Maybe in your opinion Messi is better than me, but in my mind I'm better than him.
I do it again. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Told her if it's all me, everything is on me. Gon' back it up. Matter what? Told you I'ma do me. Why you hating on me? It's not adding up. I do roll like a Mack truck. Country heart, I might cop a farm and go act up. Like scars, I was cold-hearted, now I'm back up. Keep it real, I do this once a month. I don't rap much. I just hit the money and go stack up. Only buy Carhartt cards and get tatted up. All that other bull, it don't matter much. You only climb me, I put the ladders up. No fault, I done doubled up on the workload. I think I fell in love with the bankroll. Pray up, get money, then we lay low. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up,
Yes, guys, I'm Si. Welcome to A.C.E Podcast Nation. Welcome to Rhodri Giggs on football. Rhodri will be back. Rhodri will be in just a second. He just had to reboot his computer. He'll be in just 2 seconds. I want to just quickly check that we are online and working because we had a few technical difficulties just now. Yeah, we seem to be good. Rhodri will be in just now, but while we wait for him, we'll give a little Super 6 update. And, of course, if you're not involved in the Super 6 Charity League, then get involved. Contact Will Melius, who will probably be in the chat shortly if you want to join. But with regards to the Fantasy League, we had ex-Cardiff City defender Lee Jarman with the top score this week with 75 points, took top spot in the league. The Super 6, Steve Humbles and Owain Jones, the joint top this week with 13 points. But it's another ex-Cardiff City player, Gavin Gordon, top in the league on 28 points. Myself, I scored 9, which gives me 18 for the season. Still in touch. Rhodri had a comeback this week. Got 11, but he's still a few behind me as he sits on 15. But as usual, it's neck and neck until I blow him away towards the end of the season. It's all good, baby. And if you just while we wait for Rhodri, if you watched the Wednesday show, you already know, but just Will Melius, who does that, did a charity walk in the pre-season over in the Algarve. He walked like 90 kilometers or something ridiculous. But he's auctioning off signed Walk for Wits memorabilia for the Peter Whitnam Foundation. You can get it. Winning bidders will also receive a ticket to Cardiff versus Swansea in the hospitality section. So get on Cardiff Classic shirts on all the various social medias to place your bids. The bidding opens Saturday. The tickets donated by Cardiff City Football Club, of course. If you'd like to just donate, you can do that through the Just Giving link, which I'll place in the thing later on. But support it. It's a great charity. Obviously, the Peter Whitnam Foundation, something which is close to all football fans' heart. And Will, of course, has already raised, I think it's like, I've lost the post, but I think it's well over £2,000 already. And, it's only going to be more. And when you auction off the shirts, they're all signed by Aaron Ramsey, Joe Rawls, Callum O'Dowda, Perry NG, Gutas, and a range of other Cardiff first team players. So make sure you get involved in that. We have got lots of football stuff to talk, and more to the point, A.C.E Podcast Nation has a shit load, for lack of a better term, of football content coming your way. Tomorrow lunchtime, Cardiff City versus Sheffield Wednesday preview drops. Tomorrow night, Derek Brazil podcast talking grassroots football. You can also check out the Sugar and Silk YouTube channel, which has the a preview of the Usyk and Dubois fight with Sugar and Silk. And of course, Gary Stretch joining the team as well. So you can check that out over on the Sugar and Silk YouTube. Tomorrow, though, on Ace Podcast Nation, Cardiff versus Sheffield Wednesday preview lunchtime. Then in the night, Derek Brazil on Grassroots Football. A new episode of My Story dropping on Saturday with comedian and content creator Tom Ricks. Non-stop machine of content brought to you by Ace Podcast Nation, including Rhodri Giggs on Football. How are you, my friend?
What's happening to the Bluebirds? But
mate, I did a thing yesterday. It looks bad on paper, but having watched the games, we had a really tough start, and there's some promising signs, mate. They were unlucky against Leicester, conceded a very late goal against Leeds to not win the game.
Played all the strong teams,
yeah, QPR was the one, mate, which was disappointing. You know, we were very, very poor. That's the one anomaly. But I've seen enough positive signs. They brought in this Greek international midfielder who's exactly what they need, bit of legs in the midfield. So I'm not too disheartened, but obviously, if you look at the table, it doesn't look pretty. But I mean, as Reece says, the Bluebirds, what's happening at United, mate? Because
have we done Super 6 yet? Have you done that? Yeah.
Yeah, we done that. You beat me this week, but I'm still ahead.
I'll be there. Yeah, right, see.
So you made a little bit of a comeback, but you're still.
Just wanted to know the update.
Yeah, you got 11. You got 11.
Double figures this week, and you didn't. So we're going on.
But I'm still ahead. So that's all that matters, isn't it?
Yeah, over
We're both in touch with the top of the league, though. Still, so you know, if we can get it together early doors, we might actually compete.
And I finally worked out. This is how stupid I am. Listen to this.
Go on.
So the first 2 weeks at FPL, I've got 52 points, and then the second week didn't do very well. I got 45. Looked on my points and I've got -9. I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? So the first week I made 12 changes.
Okay.
And you can only make the changes. It says free transfers. Otherwise, you get dock points.
That's how you lost those 9 points, because you phoned me, didn't you? And you were like, why the hell am I on -9?
So I was doing this all last year. So that's why I've just figured out that's why I was bottom, because I was making about 6 or 7 changes every week because I wasn't happy with my team and getting docked like 30 points every week.
So how many changes can you make? Only make
it
like
says
a
it when you put transfers, it'll say it in the corner. But I've never really looked at that. I've just done it because I really didn't take a notice like this Super 6. But I'm on it this year.
That's it. Gonna do well.
Better small print.
That's the way. Gotta eat the small print.
Well, we're just the laughing stock of the group.
So, as I just said to you, what about United? Before we kind of go into what's going wrong in United, as usual, mate, there's a lot of hyperbole, a lot of hyperbole, depending on how you pronounce it. But what I can tell you is, like people quick to jump on Mason Mount, but Mason Mount created I think it was 3 clear-cut chances against Spurs in the first half through his pressing. So yeah, he's not. I'm not saying he's playing amazing. But to make out that, and like Sky are responsible for it as well, making out like he's struggling.
Who can I get for like 5 million for who's quick? Mo, what's the runner called? Mo Farah. Get him in for 5 million. He'd be a good presser. We want him to do other things than just press.
No, I know that. I'm just saying that if United took their chances in the first half against Spurs, some of which were created by Mason Mount, you would.
I agree.
2-3 in. It's a different story.
You've got to take your chances. Goals change games, and the Bruno Fernandes one. Oh my God! But touching on United, they all look poor. Luke Shaw, what was he doing for the goal? Garnacho jogging back for the goal, but he sprints forward. Marcus Rashford doesn't look interested. Bruno Fernandes just running about like an endless chicken. Mason Mount. Casemiro getting isolated and looking stupid. Martinez doesn't really look fit. Van's decent, but for how long? Wan-Bissaka, okay. Anthony, one-trick pony. So, not started well.
No, but I got a theory on Rashford, mate. Do you know what? And this, I got nothing to back it up. It's purely a theory. I think when he signed his contract, which is big, big money, by the way, but I think he was told they're going to do some business in transfer window.
Yeah,
and he's
injured.
But they clearly they've needed some sort of alternative backup.
That's where you do your job for your team, mate. You don't think Wayne Rooney was whinging and moaning with playing left midfield when he wanted to play? No, he didn't want to play there. But did he whinge and mope about like Marcus Rashford does?
No,
he didn't, because he's a team player.
Yeah, and it's not the first time, by the way, Rashford's had a bit of a sulk on. I got to say, he did it a couple of years back, didn't he?
He's a man now. He's not a kid. He's like 24. Like, come on, mate.
Yeah, it's disappointing. What I don't understand,
you got your big contract. You're from your United fan. You're from Wivenshaw. That tough area. Let's show a bit of it. Show a bit of fight instead of like a baby all the time.
Yeah. What I don't understand, mate, right, is the Amrabat. Amrabat is clearly waiting for United. He's waited all summer. He's turned down moves. Fiorentina have just lowered the asking price to £21 million. Yet United don't seem to have the funds. Yet you've got City have signed someone else again now, 55. Chelsea for Amrabat, his price is £21 million. It's someone who they clearly need. They needed last season. And also someone to play alongside Casemiro, but also instead of at certain points.
And there's a £5 billion offer on the table by the Qataris as well.
Well, of course, but what I don't understand, mate, is Chelsea, City, Liverpool, all of these, Newcastle, all the clubs have got confined money. But for some reason, United can't even find 20 million. And I don't understand it. Now, I understand, financial fair play, blah, 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 blah. But a club the size of United...
Chelsea spent 900 million in the last 2 years. Last year.
This is what I mean. This is what I'm getting at. Like, well, how can United not find 20 million?
They haven't got it. They've got bad owners. You seem to realize.
Mate. I know the Glazers. Like, they're the worst owners in history.
When you know the answer.
But I just don't understand, like, the logic behind it, because surely even they understand.
Do you think Harry Kane would have got to Bayern Munich?
Well, no, I think United turned their nose up early in the window at the price, thinking
the sides would have paid that if the deal was done, and they'd have paid over the odds. Daniel Levy's not paying for. Oh yeah, we'll give you 120 then. Boom, because that's what he wanted. Harry Kane, and you could have got the young kid as well, both of them.
Yeah, I think and there will be a difference even with financial fair play and all that shit. Like, as soon as the debt is paid off, that frees up a large part of the issue, doesn't it? Like, Chelsea, for all the money they've spent, have also brought in a considerable amount of money in sales. So I think,
but not 900 million.
No, of course not. But then United just can't seem to sell anyone, mate, for profit, like for decent price.
They're overpriced, and they've been. Scott McTominay, they're going to earn money from because he's come through the academy. But obviously, Harry Maguire, they're going to have to take a hit on.
With hindsight, with hindsight, with McTominay, should they have accepted 30 instead of holding out for 40?
Yes,
because he's an academy player, it would have all gone to them.
You need to sort this situation out now. You're getting spanked off Tottenham. You've got someone on the bench there is what you need, but you don't want to play on because you want to get him out to get a new player in.
Yeah, it's
causing issues on the pitch already.
Yeah, 100%. And you look at like Harry Maguire's probably not even going to make the bench now because Johnny Evans is signed for another year.
He'll probably play Carling Cup, or he might even be on the bench of the Carling Cup. Then he's reached an all-time low. He should have gone. So, but this is the decision he's made, and it might affect his England place as well.
Mate, I can't believe how much Brandon Williams is on. like he is nowhere near the squad, and he's on like 75 grand a week, and it's just like no wonder they can't sell these players. They're on massive wages, you know. And then when West Ham's and Palaces and the rest of them come in for these players, they're like, "Oh yeah, we want 75. You know, I'm on 75 grand a week." They're all going to go get fucked. Do you know what I mean? It's
he's got a loan somewhere. He's got a loan. Brendan Williams. We got Ipswich.
Well, no, he's supposed to be going. No, he's not on loan. I don't think there was a thing today saying he looks like he's going to move. I can't remember where it was to. I'll check that out now.
Ipswich.
Dean Henderson's going to Palace by the looks of it, and United are bringing in some Turkish keeper. But again, they sold Kovar to Villa for next to nothing, who looks like the perfect backup to Onana, and now they're going to go and sign a Turkish keeper for whatever amount. It's just
idiots running the shit, mate.
And it looked like I said to you earlier in the window, mate, when they got in Onana, Mount, and then obviously they got
over the road at A.C.E. Deals are boom, done.
Yeah.
Boom. Wait, it used to be like at United, you think, come out of the blue, boom, deal done, bosh. It's just a chaos. Absolute chaos. So
there's been gone.
No, it's chaos.
There's been reports this week from several different places that the sale is going to go through now. October, I think it was. Like it'll be done and dusted by the middle of October. And in fairness, there was I think it was the Telegraph wrote back about a month ago that the Qatari bid, they wanted to be ready for the January transfer window because they knew they couldn't affect the summer window. But I mean, you imagine how different United's window would have been if they'd sorted that sale out back in April or whenever the deadline was. United's window would have been all sorts of different, but it's absolute shambles, mate. And you know, just I'm going to have a little rant about the Glazers, right? They paid fuck all for the club because they didn't use their own money. They leveraged the fuck out of the club. They've never put any money into transfers. They never put a penny of their own money in. They have literally going to get away with $1 billion each of them, the brothers and the sisters, right? Never invested a penny of their own money. You can't tell me that that's not like the biggest robbery in history. Like, but it's just legal somehow. It's ludicrous, mate. And it makes me angry as a football fan to see anywhere, not just United, any football club all football fans should be like aghast at it and disappointed with it because the rules been changed now where you can't do what they did. But like opposition fans, obviously on the pitch, they want to see United fail, blah, blah, blah. But like to see the state on them that they can't get 20 million for Amrabat without selling people. And then people will turn around and say, oh, they've spent money, but they haven't spent the Glazers' money. They've spent the club's own money. And now the money's dried up. And they can't take their dividends out because there's so much debt and there's so much shit. They want to try and either get some more investment or sell the club. And even that, they can't fucking make a decision and do it properly. They hanging about and it's affecting things on the pitch, off the pitch. It's just embarrassing, mate. From, like you said, what was the word you used? Chaos.
It's just how much money do you need? I've been watching this thing on Netflix called Painkillers. And yeah, they end up settling in the end for like 6 billion, but how much is enough? You know what I mean? Just so greedy. And it was about that
Oxycontin. Yeah, that's what I take for my.
Yeah, so it was about that when it first come out, and now misleading it and.
Oh, mate, it's a proper epidemic in America with like prescription drugs and stuff.
Yeah,
like
people were snorting it and stuff like that, doing it in the car the way as they picked it up, but it was about that. And same with these Glazers, you know, they've been offered 5 billion. They bought the club for what, 500 million, and didn't even use their own money. They used a loan. So they're going to earn like billions for it. You know how much is enough? And the squabbling between the family, they're just rats, absolute rats.
Like you say, mate, how much money do you need? And I think, look, I understand fans of other clubs, you know, laughing at United, and on the pitch. I really do. But like anybody who's celebrating the off the pitch stuff is weird to me. Like, because how many clubs have we seen fold over the years, like in recent years, because of terrible owners? And like the Glazers just do not give a shit, mate. The Glazers don't care about United fans one bit. One little fucking single shit. Like, you can't tell me that whoever their PR people have said, just pretend you care. Like, put out a statement or something, just saying, it's in process. Like, they just do not they couldn't give less of a fuck, mate. And, what will they do with their billions? Will they go and buy another football club and do the same thing? Who knows?
Well, they own the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as well, aren't they? They've owned that for years.
Yeah, well, this is true. So Reece says...
I think they own an ice hockey team as well, but I can't remember.
Was it today? Well, I know the Tampa... obviously, as you know, I don't follow the NFL, but I know that the Tampa Buccaneers fans absolutely hate them. Yeah, so I don't know if they've done similar over there and just drained it or what, but...
Probably. But that'll be worth billions as well. It's an NFL team. There's only 32 of them.
Yeah. So, yeah, they're probably... how much money do you fucking need, innit? Oh. Jesus Christ.
Just get out. Just sell for whatever's on the table and just get out. It's just... But we'll see. The drama will continue. They'll go in the end. But...
Yeah, I don't know, mate. It's scary, isn't it? It's just how bad it's got. Reece says... How does that work, though? Could I buy Cardiff City for, say, 40 million, but then take out a loan from the bank to do it? It's a joke. Barry went out of business after a guy bought him for £1 and had no money. Well, so basically, they've changed the rule. But what the Glazers did is they took out a loan, bought the club, but then leveraged the loan against Manchester United. So Manchester United were paying off the loan, and it's against United. So their debt gets bigger and bigger every year. And then the Glazers take out a dividend at the end of each financial year. I think they've taken out about $1 billion in total, I think. And it's just outrageous. But the whole reason why they are looking into investment or selling now is because there's so much debt that the money's just not there for them to take out. They've bled it dry. So all they're doing is keeping the animal on life support so they can keep milking it, It's crazy. But the Premier League changed the rules, so you cannot do that now because the fit and proper purpose owners, supposedly. But I mean, it should never have been allowed to happen in the first place. Never allowed. Because it's ludicrous. To me, any owners buying a football club should have to prove that they've got the funds to run the football club.
Well, they would have had the funds as well, but why pay with their own money when they can?
Yeah, well, yeah, of course. They had the loan, didn't they? And they got the loan. Yeah, it's just shambolic.
No, normal Joe just can't go in and just do that.
No, of course.
You have money to be able to do something like that. But just rats, horrible rats.
And now they won't take the money, the massive profit that they've made without actually spending any of their own money, and they're
billions. The billion that they took out of it, and the 5 billion they've been offered, they're 6 billion. Take that, fuck off.
Well, I think one of the last bid 6 billion in English money, so it worked out at just over $1 billion for each sibling.
It's embarrassing. You have a bid, and then another bid, and then another bid, and then it's just pathetic. Just get out. Yeah. Anyways, let's move on.
Yeah, let's talk about football, Meds, instead. But look, I actually thought in the first half United weren't as bad as Sky and TalkSport will have you think. The second half was shambolic, but the first half I thought United were okay. And look, I'll tell you who does look good. I think Onana looks superb. I think he looks everything they want from this ball-playing goalkeeper. He sprayed a couple of... He nearly got an assist, I think, playing a ball up to either Rashford or Garnacho. But I think, outside of probably Wan-Bissaka, Varane, and I think you said Onana, and that's about it. The rest of them was shit. But here's a question for you, mate. Are Spurs going to be better without Harry Kane? Long to over a season.
Possibly. Because they have to spread the goals around now. You know, Richarlison's got to step up. Son's got to step up. Now he's skipper, and they did look like they had goals in them. You know, Maddison, I reckon, will get you double figures. So it'd be interesting to see Maddison with Kane in there, but no,
It looks like
I don't think you can say that because he's the best striker in the Premier League, one of them. So probably not. But you know, they've all got to step up. But to answer your question, then.
So Brennan Johnson is supposedly going there.
He's not a striker either, is he?
He's like in the same mold as a Son and like you know, sort of a wide striker. But I don't know. It remains to be seen. You know, if all those, you know, if Maddison and Son and Brennan Johnson, if they can get in the goals, you know, there is goals there, but they haven't got necessarily like an out and out number 9. Like I compare it, I saw Rio Ferdinand sort of comparing it to when Van Nistelrooy left United, because with Van Nistelrooy, everything had to go through him. But then when he left, United had, you know, Rooney, Ronaldo, and the goals all got spread around. The problem being in that comparison is obviously Spurs don't have a Rooney, a Ronaldo, a Tevez, or, you know, whoever else they had at the time.
It's only last year that Son was scoring 20-odd goals, nearly 30 goals. So why can't you not do that again?
Yeah, I think he's got it in him. He looked devoid of confidence last season, didn't he?
And with this coach, this manager, it looks like they're going to be on the offensive as well, playing good football. So he's going to get chances. So just got to take him. Like I said, these players have to step up. But to answer your question, will Tottenham be a better team without Harry Kane? No.
Be interesting. Do you know? I thought I was so impressed with Newcastle in the first game. I thought they played pretty well against Man City, but I also thought Man City kind of proved the point in that, you know, basically said, sit down, you're not quite there yet, you know, because City were impressive. And Newcastle, I think, are going to do very, very well this year. And over the coming years, I think they're here to stay. But I thought Man City gave them a little pat on the head and said, you know, good try. You're not quite there yet, though. But it's going to be a weird season, mate, because Brighton are top of the league and look like they haven't sold out their midfield. Newcastle look good. City look good. There's rumours that Salah's going to go to Saudi, which would be a huge blow to Liverpool. Who do they replace? I can't see him selling him, mate.
They're talking on the radio like a daft fee, like 100-odd million. So
who'd you buy?
31. You'll be there forever. You got to think.
I agree.
You got to think, or you pick 100-odd million quid, or you've probably got a year, 2 years max of him.
All right, so say they sell Salah.
Pardon?
If they sell him now for, say, 100 mil, right? Who are they going to buy? Who's going to replace his goals in the next week?
Yeah, difficult, isn't it?
Because, like, you know, they're not going to get like an Mbappe or someone like that. I think he's
no, it's difficult, but you've got to think. As a business, remember, you know, you wouldn't want him to go because you're a Liverpool fan, but you know, but from a business looking at it, it's like the Harry Kane thing. He's 30-odd, 1 year left. I think what's Mo Salah got? He's got 2 years left. He's on a good wage. He's on about 300-400 grand a week, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
and I guess the other thing is
getting like 80 million a year to 10. Big difference, isn't it?
Yeah, but then I guess the other thing is just because you've got 100 million, because it's so late in the window, what club is going to want to sell their striker? You know. So you can, even if you thought, oh, I've got 100 million, rather than going and trying.
Darwin Núñez, that's paid a lot of money for, that's gone under the radar, 90-odd million, 80-odd million. Like Gakpo, you know, he'll probably come good, but yeah, it'll be difficult.
Well, Gakpo's playing in midfield for him at the moment because they haven't been able to get a midfielder. Oh yeah, he looks decent, and I don't think I don't think it's as disastrous long term as people are making out, because I agree with you that realistically Salah's probably got 2 years at the top left before, he'll get goals this year. But if you get 100 million, can you afford to turn it down? But then if they were going to sell him for 100 million, should they have done it a month ago so they could spend that money on getting replacements in? Because, for instance, say they said, we got 100 million, instead of going for like a Mbappe or one player, we want to get Evan Ferguson from Brighton and someone else. Like, Brighton are not going to sell you Evan Ferguson 3-4 days before the transfer window closes. So it's difficult because business side says, sell him for 100 million. But the football side says, I'm not sure it'd be a good decision this late in the window. So I don't know. But then also you've got to take into account, maybe he wants to go to Saudi Arabia.
Oh, you could just you could tug on his heartstrings, give us one more year, and then we'll sort out a fee and we'll let you go.
Yeah, or
that's probably the ideal situation.
Do you still get 100 million from him in a year?
Yeah.
Do you reckon? I mean, Saudi.
That'd be the most ideal situation for both teams, wouldn't it? Then they can prepare for it properly.
Yeah, and I mean, like, if this Saudi Arabia and the Champions League thing happens, the Saudi Arabian League is going to want to get in as many big players and all these kind of things done in the next year or two, because if they're going to come into the Champions League 2025, one of the conditions I'd imagine is that FIFA and the UEFA will say you have to have some level of financial fair play, because otherwise if all the other clubs in the Champions League have got it, you can't have then one Saudi club coming in who has not got restrictions on them. So they're going to want to get all those players in now before that comes in.
They'll be all on the same rules. Not to come in and one can do one and the rest they'll all be on restrictions. So
yes, it's very strange, mate, the financial fair play thing, because I look at what Barcelona are doing and they just don't give a shit about financial fair play. Never have. What do you make of this? In the Women's World Cup, after Spain won the World Cup, let me get it right. I can't remember what his position is, but basically, the Spanish Football Federation president went up to one of the players, gave her a hug, and kissed her, and just in the emotion, excitement. And she said afterwards, she didn't really like it, but she also said, it was just in the moment, it was emotion. And look, how many times have we seen male footballers, male managers do exactly the same thing? So, but he's now being charged by FIFA. I don't know where I stand on it.
Charged for what?
He's going to, according to reports, he's going to announce his resignation on Friday. He's already told his colleagues. FIFA will look into whether his actions constitute a violation of Article 13 in its disciplinary code concerning offensive behaviour and fair play.
Yeah, it's just some of these things, these days on a world stage, people get all the knickers in a twist and just make them out and help them all.
Oh,
so
sorry.
Just go on.
I was just going to say, just reminded me of something. Did you see Karen Carney on Monday Night Football?
She went on for that long. I was nodding off.
Oh, mate. She said that when sponsors, say when TeamViewer or whoever sponsor Man United or whoever, she said that the sponsorship money should be split 50-50 between the men's and the women's team, right? I think most people who kind of understand any sort of business and football, and they kind of like, that's ridiculous. But what I think is, I think that could end up harming women's football, because say they implemented that, you'd have teams would start getting rid of their women's team, like the Glazers did with United a couple of years back, because it would cost them money. They're going to lose money. So what do what do billionaires owners, what do billionaire businesses do when a certain section is costing them money? They bid it off. So
we'll see when
do more harm than good.
When you see some people like that, they feel that they're hard done by, or this and then that. What they've got to understand is the men's game has been going for 100 years. The women's game has only been going professional for what, 10, 15 years. So it's way, 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 way behind. So you could try and fast track it and throw a load of money into it. But like you say, that may harm, and it's not going to solve the issue. Solving the issue is just doing it organically, getting more facilities for girls to play, more teams, more academies, and getting better coaches for them and doing that. And then it'll get there. From 10, 15 years ago, it's come on massively. Technically, they're very, 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 very good. All I would say for me is just shorten the pitch a little. Can we have
smaller?
A little bit smaller goals? But, they want to be equal. And, it's just minute things. We're not talking about big, massive changes. We're saying shorten the pitch by 5 yards. Shorten the goals by a yard. We're not talking, because some of them keepers in them goals,
you got no chance.
It's a bar. Well, they obviously can, but really struggle.
But it's like little tweaks, isn't it, that they need to do. And
I agree. It would be a whole better game. A little bit tighter, but still lots of space for people to play. And I think it would improve the game. But I don't think that'll ever happen. But it's just got to let it happen organically. All that rubbish about half and half, they're not quite there yet. And for what would be the investment for? To pay you more money that you don't deserve because you've only been doing this 5 minutes, and these have been doing it for like 100 odd years.
And this is the thing.
Well more advanced. Do it organically, and the generations. Like, I've done trials every Wednesday in the 6-week holidays, and there's always 10, 15 girls that turn up playing with the boys, and some of them are really, really good. There was an American team that come over the other week, and some of the girls are even better than the lads. So, in 10, 15 years, it would have moved on a lot more. Then you could start, investing in more and more and more. But at the minute, half and half, turn it in, Karen. Come on.
Exactly that, mate. I agree with everything you just said, mate. And it's unfortunate because I think comments like that frustrate people, and I think it does. I think it just does more harm than good. I'm being honest. And what I find frustrating is, you go on social media or you go anywhere after those comments are made, and you'll have a load of people, men and women, making the exact points that we've just made. But Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher are stood there silent because they don't want to get cancelled, or they don't want to be accused of being, misogynist or whatever other bullshit. And it's like, just be real. And I don't, it just frustrates me, man. But that was the drama of the week on social media. People were not happy, and understandably so, because I think it just makes everything look worse. It makes Monday Night Football look worse. I don't think it helps anything along, and it's unfortunate. But there we go. It is what it is. The world we live in. Man City signed a new winger today. Belgian winger from Reims, Jeremy Doku, 55 million. I think I'd say he's Mahrez's replacement, isn't he? Been given the number 11 shirt. But do you know what I find interesting, mate, is they've signed him days after Phil Foden has probably had, one of his better performances for Manchester City.
Backup as well, mate. They need the backup, don't they? Like to have a position in every a backup for every position and good quality. Just keep him with that tradition.
Yeah, I mean their squad is insane, and I think he's in recent years he's done a really good job of kind of recycling players out, so sort of keeping his
It's good to have
mainstays.
that in-house competition. Keeps everyone on the toes.
Yeah, I think you need it, don't you? You
Yeah.
need that. You need
Yeah.
a squad. Like the amount of games you play these days, you're not going to ever be able to play the same 11 or 12 players. You've got to have at least 16 who can come in, play your system, play the way you want to play, etc. But if I'm Phil Foden, I want to be playing every week now. Like everyone knows what he's capable of, but for some reason he doesn't always seem to get. He seems to be the one that drops to the bench a lot. But it'd be interesting how it develops with him over the next couple of years. If he's still on the bench more than he starts, does he start getting itchy feet? Does he start thinking, maybe I want to go and have a look elsewhere? He'd go for huge money, I think, if he ever was to leave City, it's certainly in his prime, because he's a very, very talented footballer. If you who do you think's better footballer? Grealish or Foden? Like if one was going to sign for you, who would
Grealish.
you take? Grealish over Foden? Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting. Because Grealish, very similar stats to Anthony as last year. I'm not saying they're the same, by the way.
I wouldn't play him. I wouldn't put him in left midfield. I'd play him midfield. Play him where he plays for Aston Villa.
What, in like number 10, just behind.
I'd play him in midfield. Yeah.
Interesting. I big fan of Foden, mate. But
played the Champions League final, mate, which was on the bench.
Yeah. No, I don't doubt that Pep prefers, or certainly seems to prefer.
Phil Foden was as good as everyone says he is. At 23 years of age, wouldn't have been on the bench for the Champions League final. He'd have been starting.
Yeah, maybe he just doesn't want to play the way the manager wants him to play. Maybe he doesn't do enough. I know defensively.
That's like saying when our kid was 23 in 1999. It's like having the full squad and then being left out on the bench. Just wouldn't happen.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was interested because, like, I don't think Grealish is £100 million player, but I do think he's better than what people think, or people seem to think he is. Like, I think he's a very, very talented lad. But I also think Phil Foden is very, very talented, and I'm always kind of interested in what people's take.
They're both really, 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 really good. But you're just asking for a personal preference. I've always liked Jack Grealish from when he was at Villa. Where I like Phil Foden as well. But if you ask me for a preference, I'll give you an answer.
Good shot, mate. A couple of interesting comments I want to just talk about, just on some of the subjects we were just talking about. Reece says his big issue after the Women's World Cup final was that no one mentioned Lucy Bronze's mistake. Alex Scott went on and on about how she hopes no one blames her for the error. It was not her fault, etc. But in the end, it was her fault. And again, it's like a different energy, isn't it?
When you probably your best players and your most experienced players, who probably was it third or fourth World Cup, you give them a pass. They've been there, done it. It's a mistake. You wouldn't expect it from them, but you don't go over the top with them. It's a mistake.
No, I agree. But as a pundit, it's your job to analyse the game.
This is what happens when I don't think Tony Bellew should be commentating on Anthony Joshua, because he's friends with him and it's just bias. I understand what you mean, but this is why they've got to be professional. But some of them aren't, and it's my friend. You got to be just honest. Just say I'm doing my job. Unless it's a real tight friend, and you're not going to throw them under the bus, then that's understandable. But you can still do your job and say, she's made a mistake. She'll know she's made a mistake. And that's it.
Yeah, and the other thing as well is like you look at I've always thought when Gary Neville first started being a pundit, I was always impressed with how he seemed to be quite able to, criticise United if they needed to be and blah, blah, blah. But then as soon as it was Ollie, him and Scholes,
Everyone's
they
got an
didn't
agenda,
want to do it.
mate. Yeah, everyone's got an agenda. You know, he's got a hotel right opposite Old Trafford. He's not as daft as he looks to. He's always got an agenda. So, yeah, but that's what I'm saying when they have that. If you're close with someone and you have that bond, which they would have because the journey they went on. So, you know, you can kind of admire him for that because he's not going to do it. He's stubborn. I'm not going to do it. He's my mate. I'm not going to apologise to my mate, but I'm not going to throw him under the bus. So you can understand it, but you know, like I said, you expect him to be professional. He was in the end. I think he was kind of critical. He was over the top at the start. You know, where do you want to sign? How many years do you want? And all that rubbish.
Yeah,
but he did do well at the start.
He did, mate. But United, just very quickly, they got a cycle, mate, right? They did it with Mourinho, they did it with Solskjaer, and it looks like they're going to do it with Ten Hag. Is they get back in the Champions League, they have an impressive season, and then the funds kind of go and dry up, and they don't kick on from there. Solskjaer finished second, got into Europa League final, lost on penalties, and then they the money dried up, things started going wrong. Same with Mourinho. You know, they can't find like 20 odd million.
The money's ever dried up, mate. It's the recruitment.
Yeah, but
the recruitment has been shocking. Who the hell thought it was a good idea to spend 50 million quid on Fred? Come on.
Well, especially when the manager didn't want him.
Who on earth thought it was good to buy Van der Beek? Who else? Tellez. 30 million, Bailly, millions. These players, Martial, 50 million. Who's doing these buys?
It's the wages as well, isn't it? It's the wages as well.
Yeah, and then you can't get rid of them. So
look, I tell you what, I would argue
never in my day, like in the Ferguson days, would you have a player out on loan and be on the bench? It just wouldn't happen.
100%.
Just wouldn't happen.
They'd be that
good. Yeah, they'd be that good. They were playing. Where Van der Beek, you can't get in the Everton team. Everton. He couldn't get in the Everton team. So, no.
And like I tell you what, the one player you mentioned, Martial, right? When they signed Martial, they signed him. I don't think it was an exorbitant amount. Obviously, it was quite a lot for someone unproven. But they went with potential. He did all right to start with, but it was the contract they gave him, I think under Solskjaer, when he wasn't playing, he wasn't performing, and they gave him this new contract because one of the Glazers loves him and wouldn't let Mourinho sell him, and now they can't sell him because of his wages. Same with Maguire's got, they paid these players so much that they can't get rid of him, and it's a problem because it's going to hold back this manager if he can't get the players to play the system that he wants to play, because at the moment, the players he's got are not capable of it for whatever reason.
Sure.
And what it comes down to is the ownership, doesn't it, at the end of the day? It's simple as that. Who impressed you away from what we've talked about already? Who impressed you this week?
Brighton.
Yeah. I think that's a fair shout, mate. I think they've impressed everyone. Just the way they...
I'm Brentford, to be honest. Brentford as well, because everyone would have thought they was going to go. Prime suspects to get relegated the year before when they first come up, and they've done really well. And they continued that. Look a really good team. And with the main striker now. So, yeah. I feel for Everton. Feel for Luton. Feel for Sheffield United.
Yeah, they just look
like... You say Luton's going to finish halfway to the league?
No, I said I thought Luton might stay up because of their home form, is what I said. Is it
going to change that statement, or do you want to keep with it?
I don't know. Ask me in a No, I think they're going to
struggle. I wasn't a confident answer that.
By all accounts, it looks like they are going to struggle.
No shit.
Reese says, and this is one that I called early doors, Everton look like a team destined for relegation. I'm sick of Sean Dyche using the "we don't have the money that other clubs do." They still spend. They just keep spending it wrong. And I'm sick of him saying we got no cash. Do you know what? That's spot on, because if you remember a couple of seasons ago when Everton got their new owners, they spent a flipping fortune. They have got money. They have spent money. They've just spent it badly. Everton, the size of Everton Football Club, new stadium, there's no way they should have been flirting with relegation the last 2 seasons, let alone looking like they're going to do it again.
Mate. Too many managers coming in and out. You know, 1 minute it's the Dutch fella, what's his name, Koeman, then it's Lampard, then it's Duncan Ferguson for a bit, then it's someone else. Now it's this guy, mate. Yeah, and like you said, the prize that they've come in, Signates, and what happened to him was unfortunate. And you know, they've not replaced with Richarlison when they took 60 million off for that, or whatever they got for that. So yeah, bringing people like, you know, James Garner and Wolby, who's the kid up front, more kid they got from Brighton. He's always injured. He's broke his jaw again, so he's out. Mopey.
Mopey hasn't scored for 29 games.
And by the way, that's what he's paid to do, score goals, and he's not scored for nearly 30 games. So, you know, Kane, I'm not too great on. So, yeah, it will be. Oh, smelly players, smelly.
Yeah, they've been dreadfully bad. I can't see Sean Dyche surviving, much less after Christmas.
Needs a score, mate. Needs a goal scorer. If they don't get a striker in, they've got no chance. I'm looking at Shea Adams from Southampton. You know, will he get him out? He'll possibly get 10, 15 goals for you, but they need someone quick. You
say that though, mate, but like in the comments there now, all the same, they paid 20 million plus for Mopey, hasn't scored for 30 odd games.
I've seen Shea Adams. He's mobile. He scores goals. I don't think I've ever seen that Mopey score a goal.
But that Shea Adams hasn't scored much for Southampton. So is it just the same thing again? I'll bring his stats up now.
They look what you do, mate. When you've got a certain amount of money, they've got to look at, you know, what can we afford? Well, he's got Premier League experience. Will he get us? Does he suit your? He's mobile. He can hold the ball.
So, would you gamble? Would you go with Premier League?
What else do you go for? You better than having him than not having him, right?
Yeah, well, Shea Adams has scored 28 goals in 126 appearances for Southampton. I don't know. Like, I agree with you. He is quite mobile. I do think he's all right.
Do you go out of the Premier League? Then you just you know.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Right? Would you go with, if you're in, you got Everton, you got about 20 million to spend. Do you go for someone with Premier League experience? Or do you just go to the Championship League or the Dutch League and try and pick up a young striker who just scores for fun and bank on just the fact that they score goals rather than being Premier League?
Stick with the experienced Premier League. You know what you're getting. You can't be gambling.
What about the boy at Leeds who's on strike at the moment, Nonto? That 15, 20 million probably get you him.
Oh, the little black kid.
Yeah,
he's not centre forward. He's like a
winger forward type one.
Mate, they need something. Like I say, you'd rather take something than not. They need a striker. They can't rely on Calvin Lewis. He's made of popcorn. Just breaks.
Yeah.
Mopey not scored in 30 games. Can't rely on him. So you've not got a goal scoring midfield that'll get you 15, 20 goals. Who's that? James Garner, a Wolby? Please, come on.
Who was the top scorer in the Championship last year? Anyone know off the top of their head?
Was it the kid from Middlesbrough? But he's gone somewhere.
So what was the year? It was 2022, 23, wasn't it? Is that right? Yeah. 22,
kid from Middlesbrough, wasn't it?
Yeah, so you had Akpom was the top scorer. He's gone somewhere. Victor Gyökeres has gone somewhere. So the 2 top scorers in the Championship have gone elsewhere.
So now you're just gambling. It's a big step up, mate. Premier League. It's a big step up.
I mean, Gyökeres, as I'm pretty sure. Where did he play before?
Championships, Premier League is a big step up.
Do you think it's as big as it used to be for a team like Everton to the Championship? I mean, like I know it's a big step up to the top
If
teams,
they went
but
down, they'd struggle to get back up. Yeah, they would struggle to get back up.
So you got that lad.
Eventually, they would, because they're such a big club and they'll get it right in the end. You would think, but because we all see them come back. Look at West Ham; they had the problems. Newcastle, they had the problems. Now we're looking at Leicester; they're having their problems now. We see these clubs come back, but then we've seen some clubs not. West Brom, Watford. So
Leeds, of course, went down to League One as well.
Sunderland, all been in the Premier League, been flops.
Yeah, Sunderland,
Derby County, Sunderland. So there's a lot more that's not done it than have. Blackburn, Premier League winners. So
Well, it is a shout then, and I think this is a great. And this is a question I was going to put to you actually for United, but we'll put it for Everton. Chelsea want to get rid of Lukaku. Could you put a loan bid in for him, or even chuck 20 million down
United?
Everton.
He's been to Everton,
but he's got to find a club, hasn't he? In the next week, would he score goals for Everton?
Yes. If they got him, they won't get relegated.
I agree. So here's the question I was going to put to you: is because you've got at the moment United only have Højlund. I don't count Martial because he'll be injured again next week. Would you take Lukaku on loan just to play off the bench when Højlund needs a break?
No.
Okay.
No.
You'd rather go with no one. Or Sancho as a false nine.
I would rather play Sancho, Pellistri. Fernandes can play there. Mason Mount can play there.
Anyone but Lukaku, basically.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it would be bad for the team morale.
Keep going backwards. We're going backwards. Yeah.
I think if Højlund's not fit, mate, I think their best option is to play Sancho as false nine until Højlund's back or Martial's back.
Yeah,
Rashford needs to. I'd put him on the bench. I would after his attitude, stinking attitude.
Pointless. Got a touch like a Fred West.
I would. Right. Tell me then on Saturday, right? If you were going to be ruthless and you wanted to make a point to some of these players, who would your front three be for United on Saturday versus Forest?
Martial. No. I mean Rashford, Sancho, Anthony.
You give Anthony another go, would you?
Yeah. Casemiro, Fernandes.
Probably Eriksen.
I played for Tomini, but he's not going to do that. So
no,
you can't put Eriksen in because then he got
no legs.
So
I'd play Bruno deep. I would and put Eriksen in the 10.
Maybe Kobe Manu's back.
I think he's not back till after the international break.
Oh, okay.
So I would play Bruno alongside Casemiro, and I'd play Eriksen in the 10, basically. I think that way, at least you've got some legs in there. And Bruno did quite well deep last season in a couple of games he did it. But I would toy with the idea of dropping Rashford, mate. I would, to make a point, because I thought his attitude was stinking. Just put him on the bench, put Garnacho on the left, Pellistri on the right, drop Anthony as well, and play Garnacho, Sancho, and Pellistri with Eriksen at 10, Bruno and Casemiro in the midfield, and kind of just make a point to them that don't matter who you are, if you ain't going to put the effort in, you can sit on the bench, and then they'll come off the bench and make a point when they get the chance. So you should be beating Forest anyway. So make your point there. But I don't think he will. I think he'll pretty much stick to the same system, same team. I think Martial might be back as well, so he'll probably start, and then Højlund will come off the bench because he looks like he's going to be in the squad off the bench. So, I think Lukaku to Everton is not a bad shout actually. I think that could work for both parties. There's a guy who's going to Swansea, he's at Swansea, and he looks like he's going to Leeds for 12 million. He was in the goal scoring charts in the Championship last year. Joel Pirro. He's young, 23, scored a few goals. 12 million. Is he worth a punt for someone like Everton? Bless you. Bless you. To me, like 12 million, if I'm, an Everton, it's a big risk, isn't it? If you're fighting relegation to bang, to guess. I tell you, and another guy, I agree, Reece is on fire. That Balogun at Arsenal, they want 50 million for him to sell, but could Everton get him on loan? They just gotta, it's picking the right players, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think that they've got to change something up, I think is the ultimate thing, because if at Christmas time Everton are rooted in the bottom four, I think they will sack Dyche, because they cannot afford to go into that new stadium next year in the Championship. They just can't. So they have to find a way to stay up. And if they think Dyche is going to take them down, they'll bin him off. Football.
We'll have to wait and see.
There's no loyalty in football, mate, is there? Right. Let's finish off with our predictions then, mate.
Oh, flipping it. We've gone an hour. Come on, mate.
I know. I literally just looked at the time. I was like, Jesus Christ, we've been hour.
Missing my program.
Oh, what's that? Love Island, is it? What's going on? You love a bit of that, don't you?
Finished, hasn't it? Love Island not finished yet?
I don't know, mate. I don't watch it. I have no idea.
I want a dip in and out, but I don't know if it's still going.
You love it. You love it.
I'm watching Hard Knocks.
Ah, okay. Yeah. United versus. Oh, do you watch Gangs of London on Sky?
No, I watched the first one. It's just not realistic for me, is it?
It's based on a true story.
I want Top Boys out soon, though.
Yes.
There's loads of stuff on Netflix at the minute. Watch The Untolds.
I haven't. Do you know what? I haven't been on Netflix for ages, so I'll have to get some.
There's loads to catch up on then, because there are loads of new Untolds.
All right, okay.
You're not a big American football fan, are you?
Well, I don't mind it. I don't really understand.
There's one beast a couple of weeks ago called Johnny Manziel. He's calling him Johnny Football. And he was a massive college player, and then just fucking, win or lose on the booze. And then he got drafted in, I think, 22nd, and got about 8 million quid, and just got on it. And then just got on it. Yeah, it's all about that. So it's good. And then the last one was just about the Swamp Kings, was about Florida Gators, which was Tim Tebow and Aaron Hernandez. Remember him?
Yeah. He got dumped for murder, didn't he, or something?
Yeah, killed himself. Yeah. It was good. I like the NFL.
Yeah.
So I've been watching Hard Knocks, Aaron Rodgers, watching the Jets.
Reece says Gomorrah, been saying it for years, best show out there about the Napoli mafia.
Yeah,
it's so good.
Yeah, it is good. It is good. But yeah, there's loads of things on Netflix. That Painkillers thing I've just watched is good as well. And that At Home with the Furies, that's a buzz, that.
Is it?
What about Orban winning Tuesday? Getting UFC.
I know, mate. Wicked, wasn't it? And do you know what? Right,
he's sweating as well, right?
Yeah, the first round was quite tight, wasn't it? And then the second round, he got caught, and I was like, "Oh, fucking no!" And then the third round that he came out and put was it was very, very impressive. And I think Dana White, they play it up a bit, don't they? But I think that third round was enough, to convince him. But he got his contract, mate. It's another Welsh fighter in the UFC. But I was just so happy for him, because he's he's been through a lot over the years, and he's a very, very nice guy, a top bloke. Got a lot of time for him.
Oh yeah, nice one.
So good for him. Right, predictions: United Forest, mate, at United.
3-1 United.
Yeah, I went for. I'm going 3-1. I'm sticking with 3-1. I was going to change it, but I'm not
Now
going
you're copying me again now because I've just beaten one week. I beat you.
1 week, and I got to copy you.
Go on, then.
Right. I've gone Arsenal 2, Fulham 0. But what are you going?
You copying me again? Have you seen my results, you?
Yeah.
I think that's what I've gone for. Let me have a look. No, gone. United 2-0. No, sorry. Yeah. Go on. Yeah.
Arsenal 2-0. Everton versus Wolves. I've gone 2-1 to Wolves.
I've gone 1-0 Everton.
Ooh. Who's going to score their goal? Neil Mopai.
Gray.
Neil Mopai in the last minute. And he'll be a hero. Brighton versus West Ham. I have gone for 2-1 to Brighton.
4-2.
Actually, I only go 3-1 Brighton, actually.
4-2 Brighton.
Sheffield United 0. Manchester City 5.
I've gone 4.
Okay. Newcastle 3. Liverpool 1.
Newcastle 1. Liverpool 2.
Oh, interesting. So that'll be the one that separates us, mate, is that final game. So
no, I've got Everton Wolves.
Oh yeah, you got Everton as well. I didn't see. I forgot that one. What's going on the weekend then, mate?
Weekend got a game, bank holiday in it. So might be down next week.
Oh, is it?
A couple of days, yeah.
What day do you know?
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Oh,
Saturday morning.
Let me know if you let me know, like if you got like a couple of hours free or whatever, we could do something in there down Eat Sleep Media and then go and get some food or something.
Yeah. All right, yeah.
If that sounds good to you, right? I think I'm there on. Might be Thursday actually. Anyway, so we could do something maybe either side of that or something.
Yeah,
I don't know. We'll sort it out, mate. As always, appreciate you. Guys, please do check out Will's auction, which goes live on Saturday, raising money for the Peter Whittingham Foundation. You also get a free a ticket to Cardiff versus Swansea in the hospitality. If you win the bid, there's a signed flag by Aaron Ramsey and co. 2 shirts. So there's 3 things up for grabs. I think Will said that the flag hasn't got a minimum either. So if you get an early bid in, you could get a bargain. So I'm going to have a look at that because I quite fancy the nice flag for my background because I'm still waiting for Rhodri to send me his shirt. But
I'll bring it with me.
Yes, there we go. Now we're cooking.
Which one was it? The FC United one?
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet.
Wicked. Right. Nice and guys. Always a pleasure.